Welcome back to my page, everyone. Today, I've got something seriously awesome for you. An amazing video you're not going to want to miss. Let's dive right in.
My mother didn't go to school. My mother was one of the gentlest human beings I have ever met up till today. My mother was not educated, but she carried herself with such daintiness. You respected her. My mother picked her battles. I tell you something. When I was younger, my dad was still trying to make it in life and become comfortable. We lived in a face me, I face you kind of house. You know what I mean. And we had many neighbors who also had many children, like my father and my mother had many children. Sometimes while we are playing, tempers will rise and we may fight with the other children. Or, well, generally we beat the other children. I think we were more rugged. So we beat them, then we will run home. We'll run into the house, and my mom usually, she's sitting on her chair by our door. We'll run in, and she'll just still be sitting there. And the mothers of those children will chase us down, enter our house. They won't even talk to my mother sitting there. Enter our house, go in there, and beat us up inside the house. And come out of the house and go, and my mom won't say anything. Not because she was a coward. She will wait for my dad to come home. And she'll say to him, I don't want to disrespect you by fighting. So go and tell that woman who came here to, or tell her husband that his wife came into my house to beat my children. It should not happen again. That's the kind of person my mother was. But she was also married to a man who didn't care. At least not at the beginning. He cared because he had nothing. And she was the one standing with him. She was the one going to farm with him to pay his school fees. She was the one that stayed when he was going to school, and the white people that came to my village carried him and sent him to school, sent him to England, She was the one there. And one day, many years down the line, he decided he needed another wife. So he takes off. He decided he needed another wife. Not that day. He had been cheating and cheating and cheating. Papa, share you are in heaven hearing me, no vex, but I have to tell them. He was cheating and cheating all over the place. Then one day he decided to marry one of the women and bring them home. And things shifted in our house. Before he married her, he brought her to the house. And my mom, for the first time I saw a lioness. She stood up. This woman will not enter my house. You cannot bring this woman. My mother was very small. I'm taller than her. My dad was very tall. One day I asked her when I was young, I said, Mommy, why did you marry such a tall man? Look how short you are. She said, wait until you marry. And I married a very tall man too. And then when I was married, she said to me, why are you marrying a very tall man? All right, so she stood in front of him. And the woman he brought in was almost as tall as my dad. She was big and beautiful. And my dad, for the first time in my life and in my mother's life, lifted up his hand and slapped my mother. She was pregnant with my youngest brother. He hit her and her nose began to bleed. I was 10 years old. I will never forget that. I remember what my mother was wearing. I remember where she was standing in our house. I remember the look on my father's face when he realized he had slapped this woman. But his pride won't let him back down. And he told my mother, for daring to defy me. Then that child my mother was giving birth to was number 10. My mom had 11 children. Some didn't survive. The first 2 I didn't meet. So he told her to go get her bags and leave. Pack your things and get out of my house. And my mom turned with the blood on her nose and went to pack her things. She took the little girl she had brought from the village that was living with us. She said, let me take her back to her parents. And she took my little, forgive me, she wasn't pregnant with my little brother. She was pregnant with the last child, Abigail. So she took Timothy, who was about 2 years old then, and she was pregnant with Abigail, and she had the little girl. She packed her bags and she went outside. She was trying to get a vehicle. Now when he hit her and told her to pack her things and leave, he left with the woman. The rest of us, life ended. We stood there, and the trauma and the terror and the fear. We didn't know what was happening. Our parents had never fought before, never been violent. And suddenly this thing was jammed down our throats in a moment. Now my mother has been asked to go. She's packing her bags. What's happening to the rest of us? And my mom went downstairs and was looking for a vehicle. We were standing on the balcony upstairs crying, looking at my mom. And my dad came back. When he came back and saw her with her things in front of the house, he drove past. We didn't know where he went. My mother got a taxi, got to the motor park. My dad was a vehicle inspection officer, VIO. It's not the type you have today. Then VIOs were like gods. And he went to the park and told every driver in that park, there's a woman coming pregnant with a little boy and a little girl. Any driver that takes her will lose his license. So he told her to go, and he took from her the power to go. My mother stood in that park and nobody would take her. She left and went to outside so she could find the ones that were just driving past. Anyone she was able to stop, somebody would run from the park. If you carry this woman, your license is gone. And they would drive past. My mother got frustrated and sat on her box. Then my dad drove back to the park and told her, enter the car. He carried the box, put it in the car, carried her and brought her back home. There was no apology. There was no remorse. There was no shame. There was more victimization. Because now he was behaving like he did her a favor by bringing her back. There's a place for staying when marriage becomes a death trap. There's a place for staying. Those places are few, and they are usually from a direct command from God. The example I have is Prophet Hosea. God said to him, go and marry a prostitute. When I saw Pastor Tolu's interview and I saw comments, I was just laughing. How convenient it is to sit with your tiny little phone and be typing nonsense that you haven't walked through. I wonder what social media would have said about Hosea then. No, hey, he cannot be a prophet of God. This one, he cannot be God speaking. Marry prostitute, gonorrhea, HIV. He's a false prophet. He brought a prostitute to his house. She left him and went back to the men. God said, go and bring her back. He went and brought her back. She left again. God said, go and pay money and buy her back. Prophet of God marrying a prostitute that is not repentant. There's a place for staying. It's usually warfare. God will ask such a person to stay because there is war to be fought or there is a message to be passed across, but they are not plenty. All the other ones that are doing, like Mama Oshika said, Father Lord, if I sent myself, have mercy on me. Many of the people who are staying sent themselves. God did not ask you to stay. Anything that will strip you of personhood is not godly. And abusive marriages do that. They strip you of your sense of personhood, strip you of value. And what is the most heartbreaking is that we sit down and we accept it. It is my cross. Who told you that is what the cross means? I looked at my mom that day and I made a silent vow. See, let me tell you, some of our brokenness comes from watching those broken relationships. We become broken like that too. I made up my mind. I said, no man will treat me this way. I will never take this rubbish from any man. Now, the tragedy of staying when you shouldn't, or there is a way to stay and it is not healthy. It is the staying without hope, staying without leverage, and staying without strategy. If you don't want to go, you want to stay, you cannot be hopeless staying there. If people come to the rehab, we tell them what we want to give you from day one is hope. Because if you take hope from a person, he's done. If you are staying in that space, don't be hopeless there. 2, my mother had no leverage. She had no education, no money, no family. Her parents were both dead. And he knew her siblings were struggling. She was the one that used to take small from my father's house, who was very rich, and give to her siblings. So there was nowhere to go. She had to sit there. Please, those of you listening, don't leave your daughters without a place to go. My daughter was getting married. Somebody came and said, want to marry. I said, oh God, I don't know you. She brought you, she said she loves you. I love you too. I said, but please, did she tell you where she did her first degree? He said US. Did she tell you where she did her master's? UK. I said, can you quantify that in naira and kobo? He said, ma, that's a lot of money. I said, yes, money I could have used to buy Louis Vuitton and Louboutin and that. I said, I used it to raise a lady. So lady like that, she has attracted you now. I said, hear me well. I didn't raise a punching bag. Don't lay one finger on my daughter. The day you do that, I'll take her from you. You don't have a wife anymore. Man does say, why are you saying that? I say, oh God, say your own. This is my own. I am putting this boundary in place so this man knows what is okay and what is not okay. Do not hit my daughter. On that account, she will always have a room in my house. He said, Ma, my father never did it, so I have no example to copy. I said, God bless you, son. May we have men like that, that their sons can boldly say, my father didn't do it, so I don't have an example to copy. Then he said, but Ma, please, I want to say something. No? I said, okay. He's a lawyer. Ma, I don't know what I would do if she slapped me first. So I said to him, I didn't raise her like that. I said, just as it is not okay for you to hit her, it's doubly not okay for her to hit you. So don't stay there without leverage. What are you leveraging on? When a person breaks the covenant down to rubbish, you are not bound to uphold that because it's no longer a covenant. At this point, your leverage should be contract. It was a covenant from the beginning until they broke it. It becomes a contract. And I'm not afraid to say that. The church needs to start speaking and stop making the victim responsible for fixing what they didn't break. Stop making the victim responsible for repairing what they didn't break. How can a woman run to you for shelter? She's been beaten. Oh, the house that I began, you don't know what made me start that safe house. God told me 8 years before, start a safe house. I said, Father Lord, the rehab center has not stabilized first. Let me be stabilizing that one. One day I woke up and there was a woman in my house. She was standing and swaying, and it was somebody that brought her. She was saying, Mommy, please help. I said, what? She said this morning the husband was beating her. He held her neck and was banging the back of her head against the wall. As she was speaking, the woman fell down and slumped in my house. I thought she had died. I started shouting, Jesus, help me. I put her on the bed. I know the husband, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. See, some women are married to narcissistic men who are perfect gentlemen outside, but they are monsters inside the house, and you don't know. So when they are talking, you say, that nice man. No, now. Please don't do that. I ran to the office to help my head understand what I just saw. I met a woman waiting for me. She said, I'm not going back home. She followed me back home. The next morning we woke up, there was one knocking on my door at 6 a.m. frantically, 25 years married, running for her life with a small bag on her shoulder. What is it? Ma, please, I can't go back home. You will kill me. By the end of that day, another one came. The husband had used knife to beat her. By the end of that day, another one came. The husband had used knife to beat her. What is that? That's not a covenant anymore. When God was giving the covenant, he was assuming that people will be children of God. Most of them are children of the devil now, carrying the name of God as a cover. In the last few weeks, Auntie Billy, if you know how many women have sent me messages about their husbands and what they are doing to them, and they are all pastors. The abuse from the pulpit to the pew. Please don't stay without strategy, don't stay without leverage, and don't stay without hope. If you must stay.
Thank you for watching with me. What are your honest thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments section. Bye and have a blessed day.